In Module 3, we will review the signs of sex trafficking and how to report suspicious activity.
Human trafficking is a horrible crime involving the illegal trade of people for exploitation or commercial gain. Traffickers use violence, threats, lies, or other forms of control to manipulate their victims and coerce them into acts against their will. Unfortunately, trafficking hides in plain sight, especially in places where people gather, like airports.
In Georgia, we are united in the fight to eradicate human trafficking.
We've worked hard to create a safe haven for survivors and a hostile environment for buyers and traffickers.
State, local, and federal agencies have made great strides in the fight, and you too can play a part in keeping our children and vulnerable adults safe.
Please be on the lookout for suspicious activity and know that if you see something, it's okay to say something to authorities.
Some of the telltale signs of human trafficking to watch for are poor physical health, lack of control, and more. Poor physical health can manifest as signs of poor hygiene, malnourishment, or signs of physical abuse. Lack of control includes having few personal possessions, wearing the same clothes regardless of circumstances, and not being allowed to speak for oneself. Other signs to watch for include avoiding eye contact and hesitating to talk to strangers, and an inability to clarify where they are staying, or tattoos branding them as a member of sex trafficking.
It is up to us to combat these evils and keep our children and vulnerable adults safe. If you think you have witnessed a traffic situation, keep careful track of your observation to report. If the victim is in immediate danger, call 911. Otherwise, you can call 1-866-END-HTGA, where trained law enforcement agents and advocates and first responders are available 24/7. That number again is 1-866-363-4842. Together, by knowing the signs of trafficking and who to contact, we can help end trafficking in the Peach State and beyond.
It is important to recognize the signs of sex trafficking. Recognizing potential red flags and knowing some of the indicators of sex trafficking provides a key step in identifying more victims and helping them find the assistance they need. Sex trafficking is often a crime hidden in plain sight. Consider the following indicators or warning signs exhibited by a person who may be a victim of sex trafficking. Examples of poor physical health include the following: shows signs of poor hygiene, malnourishment, and/or fatigue, has injuries or signs of physical abuse. Examples of lack of control include the following: has few personal possessions and always wears the same clothes regardless of the weather or circumstances, is frequently monitored, is not allowed or able to speak for themselves. A third party may insist on being present and/or translating. The following Delta clip provides an example of how to spot the signs of human or sex trafficking in Georgia or anywhere you may travel.
Hey, sit down. Sit down.
I have to go to class.
Go with her. Here, 2 minutes. What's that all about?
I saw them in the parking lot. I don't know what it is, but something's not right about that.
I think it's human trafficking.
You know, I thought the same thing, and I Googled human trafficking. Take a look at this and tell me what you think.
Never by yourself. Do you understand? Put it down. Let's go. Let's go. Get up. Stop. Go.
Examples of other signs or indicators include the following: avoids eye contact and appears hesitant to speak to strangers, false claims of just visiting, and inability to clarify where they are staying or the address. May have tattoos used to brand the individual as a victim of human or sex trafficking. The following Delta clip provides an example of how to spot a victim of human or sex trafficking in Georgia or anywhere near you.
Hello, welcome to Delta. Now see your boarding pass and your identification, please. Thank you. May I see your identification, please? Thank you very much. How many bags will you be checking?
Just one.
If you'll place it on my scale for me, please.
Let's go. Help her.
What significance do those tattoos have?
It's personal.
Your baggage claim receipt, and thank you for traveling on Delta.
Let's go.
Knowing how you react to a possible human or sex trafficking situation is an important component of how to solve this crime. We will review intervening, tracking observations, and context clues. Do not intervene. Engaging with human traffickers can endanger the lives of their victims. Keep track of your observations. Note any signs or red flags so you can provide the most accurate information of the events, such as physical descriptions, number of people, and suspicious behaviors. Observe any context clues, such as not allowing the victims to interact or speak with others, or any degrading treatment or controlling behavior. Here is what to do depending on your observations. Call 911 if it is an emergency or you see that the victim is endangered or his or her life is being threatened. That is, the victim needs immediate help. Do not be afraid to call and report something that you think is not quite right. You are trying to help. We strongly encourage you to contact the Georgia Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-866-363-4842 or call 1-866-NHTGA to report anything suspicious. If you need to add the phone number, pause the video. You can also text HELP or INFO to Be Free or 233-733 for the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-7888. You can also download the See Something, Send Something app, which allows you to send a picture or written notes to the State Police Intelligence Center, where its credibility can be examined or referred to the proper law enforcement agency if necessary. If you need to download the app, pause the video. The following video showcases real-world instances of human trafficking in Georgia. It highlights the effectiveness of specialized training in helping our law enforcement agencies and residents alike to identify and respond to these crimes.
New at 6, a human trafficking victim is now safe and sound thanks to a sheriff's lieutenant.
It ended during a different high-speed chase, and now the lieutenant is telling us how his training may have saved a life. Channel 2 investigative reporter Mark Winnie live in DeKalb County with the rescue of a 16-year-old.
Yeah, well, this is a real team effort. The special agent in charge of the GBI's Human Exploitation and Trafficking Unit, HEAT, says this case is a great example of local law enforcement recognizing something was wrong with a traffic stop, leading to the rescue of a 16-year-old trafficking victim who had been sexually exploited here in Metro Atlanta and possibly elsewhere. We begin with the Greene County Sheriff's Office dramatic dash cam video.
During the course of the pursuit, reached speeds upwards of 119 miles an hour. stop, they were able to identify several red flags of human trafficking, among other things.
You feel like you and Sergeant Jordan Knowles really saved somebody that night?
I feel like every officer that was out there that night did.
Greene County Sheriff Donnie Harrison says it started out as an attempted traffic stop over tinted windows and other issues, but it ended as a human trafficking case with the rescue of a 16-year-old victim after his deputies chased a fleeing Cadillac into neighboring Taliaferro County.
And ultimately, Taliaferro County SO pitted the vehicle using the pit maneuver and got it to come to a stop.
His deputies recognized red flags.
There were several indicators that I had knowledge of from some training that I've had.
You've trained with GBI?
I have.
And called in human trafficking investigators from the GBI.
We sent several agents over there to assist them with the investigation, and they were able to rescue a 16-year-old young lady. Based on the preliminary investigation, we believe that she had been exploited several times in the metro Atlanta area.
The sheriff says the driver of the Cadillac, Anthony Holmes, is charged with a long list of charges including human trafficking, fleeing and eluding, possession of marijuana with intent to distribute, possession of firearm by a convicted felon, possession of firearm during the commission of a crime, contributing to delinquency of a minor, and various traffic-related charges. In jail, Holmes suggested to me someone connected with the alleged human trafficking victim asked him to help get her away from someone who was threatening to kill her. Holmes says he was not trafficking the young woman. He says he fled because of warrants in Ohio unrelated to this situation, and that he plans to plead not guilty to all the charges. Sheriff's Lieutenant Patrick Paquette says a gun was recovered on the interstate where a deputy reported it had been thrown out the passenger side of the Cadillac during the chase. He says an adult woman passenger was arrested on 3 charges, though at last check she had not been charged with human trafficking. He says at first the 16-year-old victim seemed reluctant to cooperate. Not unusual in such cases.
And after the GBI agents came and interviewed her, she was seeking out help.
Every day on Georgia's highways.
Every day.
Are there children being trafficked for sex?
This is a $32 billion industry. It's the second largest criminal activity in the United States. You have people, including children, that are being sold for labor and sex, on a continuous basis in a large.
GBI Special Agent in Charge Anita Ivey says the $32 billion figure refers to human trafficking of children and adults. She says this 16-year-old victim is from Ohio, had been rescued by South Carolina authorities, and the FBI identified as a human trafficking victim, but left South Carolina, allegedly with Holmes. She says the young woman is now seeking victim services and ultimately will be returned to Ohio. Reporting live at GBI headquarters, Mark Winnie, Channel 2 Action News.
As a review, Module 3 covered the following: how to recognize signs of sex trafficking, how to react when you witness sex trafficking, and how to properly report sex trafficking. As a public servant, you play an important role in all aspects of Georgia business. As such, you may encounter suspected cases of human trafficking in your own community. By teaching you how to identify red flags and outlining steps for reporting human and sex trafficking, you are now a trained eye, working to stop this horrific crime. Know the signs, speak up, make a difference. For additional information on how to help, visit the Human Resources Administration Human Trafficking Awareness webpage on the DOAS website. Congratulations! You have completed the Human Trafficking Awareness training. You are now ready to properly define human trafficking and sex trafficking, identify the individuals involved in sex trafficking, recognize the signs of sex trafficking, and properly react to and report sex trafficking. If you have any questions or comments regarding this training, send an email to georgia.learning@doas.ga.gov.